Nigeria is often described as a nation blessed with oil, yet caused by its dependence on it. For decades, national conversations about wealth, development, and economic power have revolved almost entirely around crude oil and natural gas. Oil revenue shapes government budgets. Oil determines federal allocation. Oil dominates political negotiations and regional narratives. But this overwhelming focus on oil has also created a dangerous blind spot. Because while oil became Nigeria's most talked about resource, entire regions quietly built economic systems that functioned with little or no dependence on petroleum income. In this documentary, we deliberately exclude oil and gas, not because oil and gas are unimportant, but because they have already been discussed to exhaustion. Instead, we turn our attention to Southeast Nigeria, a region often portrayed as landlocked, resource poor, and economically disadvantaged, to examine what lies beneath the surface when oil is removed from the equation. What we uncover is a complex, layered economy driven by solid minerals, renewable resources, trade networks, manufacturing, human capital, and private enterprise. This is not a story of potential alone. This is a story of existing wealth that remains underutilized, undervalued, and largely ignored. Southeast Nigeria is the smallest geopolitical zone by landmass, yet one of the most densely populated regions in the country. With limited federal presence, fewer major highways, no fully functional seaports, and long-standing infrastructure deficits, the region is frequently framed as economically constrained. However, this framing overlooks a critical truth. Economic strength does not always announce itself through skyscrapers, oil rigs, or federal projects. In many cases, it manifests quietly through markets, workshops, farms, and skills passed from generation to generation. Unlike oil-producing regions, where revenue flows vertically, from the federal government to states and to local governments, the Southeast operates a largely horizontal economic model. Wealth is created privately, circulated locally, and reinvested continuously. This decentralized nature of wealth creation makes it difficult to measure using conventional economic indicators. As a result, much of the Southeast productivity remains invisible to official statistics, even though its impact is felt nationwide. Long before oil wells reshaped Nigeria's economy, coal powered the nation's first industrial revolution. The heart of that coal economy lay in the southeast. Coal deposits in Enugu and its surrounding areas, including Iva Valley, Onyama, and Owerri, formed the backbone of Nigeria's early energy infrastructure. By the early 20th century, coal from Enugu powered railway locomotives, electricity generation, and industrial operations across the country. Enugu itself emerged as Nigeria's first true industrial city, earning the nickname the Coal City. Coal was not merely a mineral, it was a system. It supported rail transportation, manufacturing, urbanization, and employment. However, with the discovery of crude oil in commercial quantities, coal was gradually abandoned, not because it lost value, but because oil became cheaper, easier, and politically more profitable. Today, while many countries have modernized coal usage through cleaner technologies for steel production, cement manufacturing, and power generation, Nigeria's coal industry remains largely dormant. This neglect represents a massive missed opportunity. Coal from the southeast could support industrial power generation, cement and steel manufacturing, export markets, energy diversification. Instead, Nigeria imports energy solution while sitting on proven reserves. Every modern society is built on limestone. Limestone is essential for cement, roads, bridges, housing, and industrial construction. Without it, modern infrastructure simply does not exist. Southeast Nigeria hosts significant limestone deposits, particularly in Ebonyi states, parts of Enugu and Anambra. Yet, despite this abundance, the region lacks large-scale cement and limestone-based industries capable of harnessing their resources. As a result, cement remains expensive, construction costs remain high, and infrastructure development remains slow. This paradox is striking. A region rich in limestone continues to import cement at premium prices. If properly developed, limestone alone could anchor cement manufacturing hubs, construction material industries, employment for thousands, lower housing costs. Instead, the resources remain largely untapped. Nigeria spends billions annually importing bitumen for road construction. Yet, bitumen deposits exist within Nigeria's sedimentary basins, including extensions into parts of the southeast. Bitumen is the backbone of modern road networks. Without it, durable transportation infrastructure cannot exist. The irony is hard to ignore. A region with access to bitumen should not struggle with poor road networks. And yet, inadequate investment and exploration have ensured that this resource remains buried, while roads continue to deteriorate. Developing local bitumen resources would reduce road construction costs, improve logistics, support regional trade, strengthen manufacturing supply chains. The neglect of bitumen is not geological, it is political and administrative. Before crude oil dominated Nigeria's exports, palm oil defined the nation's economy. Eastern Nigeria, particularly the southeast, was once the world's leading palm oil producer. Palm oil powered global industries, from food to soap to lubricants. This was not plantation-driven agriculture. It was a sophisticated smallholder system that combined efficiency, sustainability, and skill. However, war, neglect, and the rise of petroleum revenue led to the collapse of Nigeria's palm oil dominance. While Nigeria turned away, countries like Malaysia adopted Nigeria's palm seedlings and built global palm oil empires. Today, palm oil is a multi-billion-dollar global industry. The Southeast still possesses suitable climates, skilled farmers, existing palm groves, local knowledge. What is missing is structured investment, processing capacity, and policy support. Palm oil represents one of the most realistic non-oil wealth revival opportunities in Nigeria. Clay. Clay is often overlooked because it appears ordinary, but clay is fundamental to modern living. From tiles and ceramics to sanitary ware, bricks and porcelain, clay-based products shape housing and urban development. Southeast Nigeria contains extensive clay deposits across Anambra, Imo, Abia, Enugu states. Yet, most ceramic tiles, toilets, and fittings used in Nigerian homes are imported. This represents a double loss: lost industrial opportunity and lost foreign exchange. Clay processing industries could reduce import dependence, create SME clusters, support affordable housing, generate skilled employment. Instead, the region continues to import what it literally stands on. Kaolin, often referred to as China clay, represents one of the most overlooked industrial minerals in Southeast Nigeria. Found in commercially viable quantities across parts of Abia, Anambra, Imo, and the Ebonyi states. Kaolin is a critical raw material used in ceramics, paper production, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, paints, rubber, plastics, and even food processing. In many industrial economies, kaolin supports entire value chains, from high-grade porcelain and sanitary ware to coated paper and medical tablets. Yet, in the Southeast, this mineral remains largely unprocessed, mined only at small artisanal levels, or left entirely untapped. As a result, Nigeria continues to import Finnish-based kaolin products that could easily be manufactured locally. With proper geological surveying, modern processing plants, and industrial clustering, kaolin alone could support thousands of skilled and semi-skilled jobs, reduce import dependence, and significantly strengthen the region's manufacturing base. Its neglect is not due to lack of quality or quantity, but rather the absence of structured investment and policy focus on solid minerals beyond oil. If oil flows through pipelines, trade flows through people. Trade is the Southeast's most powerful and consistent wealth generator. Markets like Onitsha main markets, Owerri international market, Aba, trade fair, and the Nnewi spare parts clusters serve as distribution hubs for the entire country and beyond. Goods imported through Lagos ports often find their way to these markets before being redistributed nationwide. This trade network functions as a decentralized economic engine, circulating capital rapidly and continuously. Unlike oil revenue, which is concentrated and politically controlled, trade wealth spreads horizontally, creating opportunities at multiple levels. This system sustains retailers, transporters, manufacturers, importers, apprentices. Trade is not a fallback option in the Southeast. It is a deliberate inherited economic strategy. Manufacturing in the Southeast rarely begins with government incentives. It begins with skills, from Abbas footwear and garment clusters to Nnewi's auto parts and machinery industries. Manufacturing grows organically from workshops into factories. These industries operate despite poor power supply, limited access to credit, inadequate infrastructure. This resilience highlights a critical point. Industrial capacity exists, it's simply unsupported. With proper infrastructure and policy backing, these clusters could compete regionally and globally. Perhaps the Southeast's most valuable asset is not buried underground. It is human capital. The Igbo apprenticeship system, known as Igbo Boy, represents one of Africa's most effective informal wealth distribution models. Young people learn trade, management, and financial discipline, then graduate into independent business ownership. This system reduces long-term poverty, encourages entrepreneurship, circulates wealth, builds resilience. In regions where poverty is inherited, development stagnates. In the Southeast, poverty is often transitional. Despite its assets, the Southeast remains underdeveloped relative to its potential. The reasons are clear: infrastructural deficits, power shortages, absence of seaports, policy neglects, insecurity narratives. The problem is not lack of resources. The problem is lack of coordination, investment, and political will. If oil disappeared tomorrow, many economies would collapse. The Southeast has already lived without oil and survived. Coal, limestone, bitumen, palm oil, clay, kaolin, trade, manufacturing, and human capital form a diversified economic foundation that remains largely ignored. This documentary is not a complaint, it's an invitation to rethink Nigeria's economic future beyond oil. If Nigeria truly wants diversification, the blueprint already exists. It lies in regions that learn to thrive without oil. If this documentary changed how you see the Southeast, like this video, share it, and subscribe, because the future of Nigeria will not be drilled, it will be built.